Welcome to this Sunday edition of Wasatch Weekends. I am your host, Gretchen Plesha, and we're going to have so much fun today on this Sunday. We're teaching how to make all things orange cake, so that's going to be pretty cool, orange cake, as well as speaking some truth with Dr. Paula. Let's take a look at that weather and sit here because Wasatch Weekends starts right now. We got a chance to talk to Dr. Paula all about things to prevent cancer. It was a really interesting conversation. Let's take a look.
I'm joined today with Dr. Denoya. She's on the Commission of Cancer State Chair for the Eastern Long Island, New York chapter. Now, we've got colorectal cancer is something that is rising, especially among young people. And I was reading a statistic that it says people born in 1990 have double the risk of colon cancer and quadruple the risk of rectal cancer from those that were born in the 50s. Is that true?
Yes, unfortunately, we have seen that trend in the last few decades. We don't know exactly what's causing it, but we believe it is environmental factors affecting our genetics and also our diet. With more ultra-processed foods and chemicals in our diet and things like that.
Well, when we talk about diet, doctor, what can someone do from a preventative standpoint, knowing this is going on, when they're out there shopping and or cooking and feeding their loved ones?
Sure. One of the big things is avoiding ultra-processed foods. And what I mean by that is something that has a really long list of ingredients with a lot of chemicals that you don't recognize as actual food. Whatever you can do to buy recognizable food and cook it yourself at home is the best option, but those are some of the things to look out for. The other is avoiding smoking, avoiding red meat, eating more high fiber foods like fruits and vegetables and whole grains. Those are all things that can be done to prevent.
Now, on that topic, identifying colorectal cancer or things that are going on in your body, what are some major signs and symptoms that people should be aware of in order to know that they should probably go to their physician and have things checked out?
Yeah, so things to look out for is major changes in your bowel function. So new constipation or new diarrhea that's persistent over, a few days or a week and doesn't improve with the usual treatments, rectal bleeding, rectal pain, also unintentional weight loss. Those are all symptoms that you should go to your doctor for.
Great. So early detection is probably the key to get in there and take care of that. Is there medication? Are there surgical procedures to help someone that's been diagnosed?
Sure. So definitely early detection is key. We can prevent with regular colonoscopies because we remove precancerous tissue called polyps beforehand and prevent cancer from forming, but also identifying it early. So stage 1 colorectal cancer has about a 90% survival rate with surgery alone. Most patients will receive surgery to remove the diseased tissue. And then some patients with more advanced disease will need chemotherapy. And in the case of rectal cancer, sometimes also radiation is used.
Now, a lot of people get scared when they hear the word colonoscopy. Talk a little bit about how someone can prepare for a colonoscopy and exactly what that procedure does.
Sure. So a colonoscopy is a test done usually under anesthesia, so it is not painful at all, where the doctor will look with a camera through your entire colon, all the way from starting at the anus, all the way around to the other side to the cecum. And during that procedure, we can take biopsies, we can remove precancerous lesions, we can diagnose other diseases at the same time. And the colonoscopy itself lasts about 20 to 30 minutes. Like I said, it's usually done under sedation or anesthesia, so patient is very comfortable. And the thing that most people are worried about is the bowel prep, which is cleaning out the colon ahead of time so that the doctor can actually see what they're looking for. That has a really bad reputation, but it shouldn't anymore. The prep medications taste better. There are options that are low volume or pill prep, so you can discuss that with your doctor ahead of time. And you can also make things a little bit easier by hydrating well in the few days before the procedure and eating a lighter diet in the few days before the procedure.
Now, as far as preventative, what is the age that people should start going and getting a colonoscopy?
So for everybody, we recommend starting at age 45. However, if there are people with a family history of colorectal cancer or any of the symptoms that we discussed earlier, they should go for screening earlier. So that would be something to discuss with their doctor as to when they should start screening.
And then as far as how often you should go back, is that up to your doctor, or is it something you should plan every 3 to 5 years?
So there are guidelines, and if you are someone with no family history of colorectal cancer and you have your colonoscopy and it is completely normal, you'll be told to come back in 7 to 10 years. If you have polyps removed, then you may come back in 3 to 5 years, depending on how many and what kind were removed.
Where can people go to find out some more information on colorectal cancer and how to prevent it?
Sure, they can go to the American College of Surgeons website, facs.org/colorectal cancer.
Great. Doctor, I very much appreciate your time this morning. Have a great day, and we'll spread the word so that people can prevent the colorectal cancer and some of the symptoms that come along with it.
Great. Thank you for having me.
Bye. Great information to get out there, get checked, and something to be aware of. Preventative measures are always key into making sure that you stay healthy, happy, and able to get out there and enjoy all those outdoor activities.
Welcome back to Wasatch Weekends. Now, TikTok is all the rage, and our very own Kim and Kevin got to do one of those really cool videos. They're making some orange cake. Let's take a look.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
You know, I love to follow all the TikTok trends on in regard to food and recipes.
Yep.
That's really the only thing I use it for. So I saw this whole viral orange blender cake, and I thought we have to absolutely try it.
We have to try it.
We have to try it. So I did read that it is important what type of orange that you pick because they have varying levels of sweetness, plus with like the seeds and the skin, you really want to use like a thinner skin.
Right.
So we're using a whole navel orange. These luckily
With
don't
very
have,
thick skin.
like I'd say
Kind of like you.
So,
You've got thick skin.
when it comes to working next to you, Kevin, I do. But if you check this out, you can kind of see that the skin is like, I'd say it's thin to medium sized, right?
Right.
So we quartered it up, or you quartered it up.
I did.
Because you don't want the seed in it, because the seed actually creates a bitter taste to it.
Right.
And so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started. But what you want to do is actually just throw all of the wet ingredients in the blender first, and that includes the orange.
All right,
so
I am the Robin to your Batman, so you tell me what.
The Robin to my Batman. So we've got 4 eggs sitting out at room temperature, and we've got them here in a Tupperware. So we're going to crack the 4 eggs into the blender, or you can do the oranges. It really doesn't matter. We're going to let Kevin go ahead and be the egg cracking master. And it's pretty great. And then it really, you can use self-rising flour, or you can use regular flour depending on what you have on hand. And I had regular flour, so that's what we're going to use with regular flour and baking powder. Okay. And then, we're cracking all of the
all 4 eggs.
All 4
eggs.
Then we're going to throw in our orange. Now,
peel and all. Just
peel and all, just toss it in there.
Okay.
Insane, right? I'm really excited about this.
I don't know about this, Kim.
It creates like a fun, like really citrusy flavor and texture. Then we've got lemon extract. We want to do about a teaspoon of the
lemon extract. Got it.
And then we also need to include oil, and that's like the basis of all of our wet ingredients. So you don't have to use the lemon extract, at least that's what I've been reading.
I just literally put it in, and you said, well, you don't have to use it.
But I heard it gives it a little bit more pizzazz when
Okay, we
you're
want to
tasting
pizzazz it up.
the flavors. So we
And
did
then
that,
oil.
and then we've got oil. I think we need to use about 3/4 of a cup of avocado oil, which
Okay.
I've never seen a cake made with avocado oil
Oh,
before,
yeah. I've seen an
but we're,
avocado cake one time.
So Kevin, no pressure, but you know, it's got to be exact.
Yeah,
for
I'm
making
pretty
a
darn
cake.
good at this eyeballing thing.
I can tell.
Okay.
So we were putting that in there, and then we're gonna blend it up, and then we'll do the or the dry ingredients afterwards. Now the key with the dry ingredients is, apparently, this is what all the TikTokers are saying.
This is what we've heard.
This is what we've heard. I do my research, but you know, I can't say that I'm an expert and I've ever made this
Oh,
cake
no, let's
before.
just say you're an expert.
I'm an expert.
Let's
you
just
know?
say it. Get
Next
it out
to you,
there.
Kevin, between the two
Get
of
it
us,
out
I think
there.
we're gonna get it done. So we're gonna go ahead and just blend this. We're just gonna do a nice little medium blend.
Okay.
See what happens. Looking great, looking great.
Very loud.
It is very loud. So next thing we're gonna add 2 cups of all-purpose flour.
Okay.
And then 3/4 of a tablespoon of baking powder. Looking good. Plus sugar, we need to add our sugar. Sugar is always key when it comes to the cake. All right, let's see how we blended. Look at that. I mean, you can still see a little bit of the.
It smells absolutely incredible.
It smells great, doesn't it? And you can see in the blender that the peel is pretty diced up.
Yeah.
It smells great, actually.
Did a good job.
I'm awakening. You know, it's the orange and the citrus zest. Okay, so now we're gonna add 2 cups of flour in here,
Okay.
and then also yep, there we go, looking great. And then we need to make sure that we've got our 3/4 of a tablespoon of baking powder, because that's what's going to make the cake rise, right? So if you're using self-rising flour, you don't need the baking powder, which is great.
Okay.
You're nailing it, Kevin.
Look at this.
You know, and I'm actually impressed.
I
No
can-
flour
Kevin
on
can
that
measure.
wonderful navy sweater that you're wearing there.
Right.
All right, so we got the flour. We
Got the
need
flour.
3/4 of a cup of avocado oil. We added that in. We need to make sure that we add 1 cup of the sugar, which is somewhere around here.
Right here.
I think we've got some granulated sugar also off the camera. So we'll take a look and see.
Do we need granulated or powdered
We
on
need
this?
granulated.
Oh, for crying out loud.
You know what? We're going to use powder.
We're going to
though.
use powder today.
We'll see what happens.
what happens
It's
here
viral.
on
It's
TV.
TikTok,
It's
you
live
know?
TV.
It is what it is.
It's viral. 1 whole
It
cup?
is viral. 1 whole cup. There you go. And then you can also use the powdered sugar for later as well. So we'll see what happens. There we go. I think that looks good to me. So we're going to dump that in there.
Okay.
And then 3/4 of a tablespoon of baking powder. And then you don't want to just like do a real blend on it. You just need to kind of pulse it so that everything kind of gets mixed in, because if
Tablespoon,
you make it,
did you say?
3/4 of a tablespoon. Yeah, just like that. Looking good. And then I guess if you pulse it or you blend it too hard, it makes the batter really dense and thick. So we're just going to lightly pulse this until it's all blended. That's what I'm hearing.
Nobody likes dense
Hey,
batter.
if it's with a cup of coffee in the morning, I don't care what the texture is like.
We got it.
It smells
We'll get
delicious.
this. It does smell
All right,
good.
so we're gonna go ahead and luckily we've got this handy dandy dough button on our blender.
Okay.
And we're just gonna blend it a little bit, nice and low, while we're letting it blend. You know, you were in sunny Florida, so does this smell like Florida?
It smells like Florida. The Sunshine State.
The sunshine and, in my opinion, the citrus state.
Yes.
Okay, let's take a look and see how it's looking. Yeah, looking pretty good. We're gonna just do a little bit more. You know what I love about this cake, speaking of Florida?
What?
You know, my grandparents used to live in Florida, and I
Okay.
spent a lot of time going to orange
Picking
groves
oranges.
and picking oranges.
Picking oranges.
Fresh pressed
I
orange
can tell
juice.
your hair and your skin
Yeah,
tone.
that's why my hair is
Yeah.
red, because I ate a lot of oranges.
That's
when I was a
probably it.
kid.
I think that's a fact. True.
All right, this batter is looking great. Smells great. So
Okay.
the next thing we're gonna do, I guess, is line our cake loaf. with parchment paper, or if you don't have that, you can use the avocado oil spray. So you pick parchment paper, avocado oil. I know, the pressure is on.
Using this.
There you go. Yep, you're just gonna spray the corner. At least that's what they're telling us.
Yeah,
so
that's what TikTok says, so that's what we're doing.
Says. And yes, I have been consulting my phone with TikTok as we've been going through this recipe.
Okay.
We're gonna go ahead and then we're just gonna scoop it into the pan, and we've got a couple extra oranges.
What do we preheat the oven to?
We preheated the oven to, it depends on what recipe version you're looking at, 180 degrees Celsius. Whoa. Or, which roughly translates to about 350. Yeah.
Okay.
According to Google.
Got it.
According to the
TikTok,
worldwide
Google.
interweb. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and actually just clean this off really quickly. And then we're gonna dump the dough. And it's okay if we've got one small loaf pan, but you know, you can make this is basically, in my opinion.
When do we zest?
We zest if we want to make a frosting.
Okay.
If we want to, or you can just kind of zest on top. I think we should just sprinkle it with some powdered sugar when we're done cooking.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Got to keep it simple.
Live
right?
TV.
It is live TV. All right, so we've got that, and then we're just gonna pour it in about 2/3 of the way up to the lid, because it is gonna rise because
I'll
of the
pour
baking
it,
powder.
you scrape.
All right, I'm gonna make sure we don't over pour it, because then it's gonna explode in the oven there. But
So how far up do you go? How far does this
I would
rise?
say about 2/3 of the pan you want to fill, and then you know, that's why if you did the parchment paper, Kevin, if it rises a little bit above over, it stays in its shape. I think that looks great to me. And then anything in excess, you can make mini loaves. Why not?
Mini loaves, why not?
Yeah, who likes a
Get a little muffin pan.
little muffin pan, which we do have, and we'll do that later. But
Have you seen the Muffin Man? Do you know the Muffin Man?
I do know the Muffin Man. Do you know the Muffin Man, Kevin?
No, I don't.
All right, so I like to do this just to kind of level it out a little bit.
Okay.
But man, it smells good.
It smells delicious.
It smells fresh. I think my senses have awakened, just like my mind.
Okay.
And here we are. We're ready to
Let's pop it
ready
into
to
that
party
180 degrees Celsius oven.
or 350 degrees.
Okay.
And then you bake it for about 35 to 45 minutes, depending on your loaf size, depending on how hot your oven actually is. Because did you know, fun fact, your oven is not necessarily as hot as it says it is. So you try to preheat it as long as possible. Yeah.
That's why sometimes people put a little thermometer in there.
That's exactly
so you can
right.
actually see.
So that's it. So here we are. We baked a cake, a loaf.
Okay,
a pound
45
cake.
minutes.
35 to 45.
35 to 45. So you got to stay
monitor
tuned
it,
for a while to see the outcome of this.
and we'll show you how it turns out. It's pretty great. I think you could probably cheat with this one if you wanted to and use a regular cake mix. But I'm so glad we did.
Why would you?
Exactly.
Why would you?
It was easy.
And
Throw
it's
it all
fun.
into the
This was
blender.
kind of a fun thing to do.
It was fun.
I was a doubter.
You were.
Doubting Kevin on this one, but I tell you, the aroma coming out of the oven, and I
It's
took a
true.
peek, and it looks great.
Well, Kevin, have I ever steered you wrong in any recipes there?
Just twice. Just 2 times.
Just 2 times. You know what? 2 times is better than 3 times. So let's take a look at it. So if you wanted, like I've heard, if you wanted to cool the cake first and let the drizzle kind of settle on top without it soaking into the cake, then you let it fully cool before you put it on. But I love to have that delicious
It's got to be warm.
frosting kind of
Yeah.
melted into it. So it looks great. I love that you flipped it over on the cutting board and not on the plate that we have sitting here, Kevin.
Well, you do this. So now it's right side up.
There we go.
Doubting Kim.
Today
This
that
is a
kind of
professional production.
It is.
And we gotta
shouldn't
look
be
at.
laughing at our colleagues.
Now, so putting our homemade little glaze thing
It's
on
true.
here, we've zested 1 orange. We put a little bit of vanilla
Mm-hmm.
extract, a little bit of the orange extract in there, some powdered sugar, stirred it up. So that's good to go.
It looks great, and then obviously you want some sort of milk to blend
that
it all
coconut
together.
milk.
We use
Yeah.
coconut milk, which is dairy-free. Obviously, I think this whole recipe is dairy-free, so it's going to be a great one to have with coffee when we're done with the show here. So we'll go ahead and put a little bit of drizzle on it, and then
Okay, now one thing I like to do when I drizzle is I'll usually take and I'll cut down about 1 inch into the pieces.
It looks delicious.
And then I like to drizzle on top with the slices in.
Oh my gosh, yes. That's
Because
how
this way you get it down into the cake a little bit.
That's exactly how I apply my butter to my baked potato.
Oh, it is not.
It is. I slice it down. I got that from my dad. Oh my gosh, it looks delicious. And then if we wanted to add a little bit more powdered sugar to it, you can. But we've got some here just in case. But man, oh man, that looks incredible.
Delicious.
Is it time to cut into it?
Try it.
I'm gonna try it. We've got the knife. I'm going in. Okay, I'm more of a centerpiece, but a center kind of slice girl. But I'm gonna.
And I know the viewers cannot smell this, but it is incredible. It just smells amazing.
Honestly, it reminds me of summer and springtime, and man, this would be a great, I'm just gonna have a small little piece
Have
here.
a small little piece.
Here we go, 3.
Oh yeah, that says it
Wow.
all. That face speaks volumes.
It's moist. I know that we use powdered sugar, not regular sugar, but I tell you what.
Maybe
it's
that's something you change. You don't want it too sweet.
The perfect amount of sweetness. It's so good. It's light, it's fluffy. It's definitely got all of the moisture in it that we need. So it's a perfect breakfast cake or anytime cake.
We're going to dig into this and be right back with more.
Thank you for spending your Sunday with us here at Wasatch Weekends. I had so much fun. Now, that orange cake looked pretty amazing. I'm not very good at cooking things, but I'm going to try it out. Also, talking with Dr. Paula was really interesting, learning about ways to prevent cancer. Have a great weekend. Get on the slopes, and we'll see you again for Wasatch Weekends.